a government check. I don't deserve it. And he gave it to me anyway. But it had an impact on him because he could not believe there was somebody actually sitting before him saying, don't give me the check. Don't give it to me. What am I saying? Your work is an example to others. So what would happen if you go to work with that new mindset? That what I'm doing this morning, somebody's watching. And it could have an effect on their eternal destiny. Now, remember that coach. Remember that coach. When you're out there coaching those boys and they mess up and you want to say, good. Now, I know you wouldn't do that. I'm just saying. People watching. And your work is an example to others. Amen? I think of people in the Bible. I think of people in the Bible like Joseph and people like Daniel, you know, who affected so many people's lives because they had such integrity on their job. Right? They impacted people's lives, and people say, man, who is your God? Who is the God that you serve? Simply because... Help him out, wake him up. All right. You said, my office is a bunch of pagans. Well, why do you think God has you in that office? Somebody's got to be a testimony to them. And so since you're going to spend 40% of your life in that job, let God use you in that job to impact people's eternal destiny. Are you with me?
Amen.
All right, GP, are you with me? Number six and finally. Work gives me self-respect. You know, I kind of like talking slow. Slowing down. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Work gives me self-respect. Solomon said it this way in Proverbs 22:29. Do you know a hard-working man or woman? He shall be successful and stand before kings. He said the value of good hard work is he shall be successful and stand before kings. There is a sense of honor and dignity that results from legitimate work. Listen, folks, there is no work that is undignified. Well, let me back that thing up. Obviously, there's some jobs you can't do. You know, you can't go and work at Magic City. You can't be a hitman. But you know what I'm saying. Hey, I saw on the news this morning where church bought their old strip club. That's what you saw that on the news this morning. Man, I can see those deacons now. They don't have to go to the strip club anymore. They'll already be there. I can see them at the altar now doing this. Never seen anything like it before in my life. Legitimate, honest work has dignity no matter what you do. And so God has built in certain emotional rewards. That's the only way you're going to get it is by working. There's a certain amount of self-respect that comes with that. I grew up having a hard time respecting guys who refuse to work, who are always looking for a handout or easy way, something trying to get over on the man and all this stuff. No, work builds your self-respect. You know, I feel good about myself, even if it's not in the job I want right now. Even if I'm not making the amount of moolah that I want right now, I have some self-respect. Amen. That's what work does for you. I never forget my first job, working for Sears Coffee Shop in the restaurant, washing dishes. But man, I would get out of school, get on that bus in front of my high school, go to work, and I was so excited. I had a job. Amen. And I was able to get my own place. And a lot of my friends wanted nothing to do with paying bills or working. But I had some self-respect. So I believed in working. Listen, folks, the fact is people are happiest when they're striving for something worthwhile and meaningful in life. Amen. That's why back in the garden, God gave Adam and Eve something to do. He gave them work to do in paradise. They were working in paradise. That's why it's so important. And so I think people who have nothing but leisure are bored to death and they really don't feel like their life has any real meaning or purpose. Anytime you got nothing to do but leisure, you feel like life is absolutely meaningless. Now, notice in these 6 purposes of work, I was surprised to find this out, that not a single time does the Bible say, we work to get rich. I was shocked. I was kind of hoping he did. But nowhere in the Bible does it say, this is why we work. Why? Because regardless of how much money you make, if you're in a job that you're wasting your life on, if you're not fulfilling God's purposes, that's not meaningful to you, you got a bad bargain no matter how much you make. A bad bargain. Meaning is more important than money. Satisfaction is more important than salary. Meaning is important. So let's close these 3 thoughts. As we close this series on transforming how we work, 50 days of transformation. Let me close quickly. 3 thoughts I'm going to leave you with. Leave you with this thought as you go back to work tomorrow. Number 1, work for the Lord. Yes. Work for the Lord. Paul says, Colossians 3, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord and not for men. Working for the Lord and not for men. He's saying that no matter where you work or what you do it for Jesus. That's who your real boss